Hi, this is Ed Driscoll. Welcome to Silicon Graffiti. As Jonah Goldberg noted in Liberal Fascism, it's looking like Aldous Huxley's Brave New World and its overarching nanny state is the model for an ever-growing 21st century socialism, not George Orwell's 1984. And certainly not Ray Bradbury's classic Fahrenheit 451, at least not in the methods employed. As seen in this clip from the 1966 movie directed by Francois Truffaut, Bradbury's novel depicts a future in which books are banned and removed from circulation rather dramatically.
That's good, that's what I like to see. Novels aren't life. What did Montag hope to get out of all this print? Happiness? What a poor idiot you must have been. You know, it's we who at this moment are working for man's happiness.
The reality is, of course, much more subtle than that brute force of a scene. In February of 2009, Congress began to implement the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act. As with most laws, it was passed with good intentions, attempting to minimize and ideally eliminate the amount of lead in children's toys. Unfortunately, as with many laws, it had sweeping side effects its writers never intended.
If you browse through the racks of children's clothing at area Goodwill stores, you'll notice half the supply is gone, all because of a new law being implemented by the federal government tomorrow morning.
What goes into effect on February 10th is a new limit for lead content in children's products of 600 parts per million.
The new limit affects every single thrift store across the nation. If they're caught purposely selling a toy, piece of children's clothing, or book printed before 1985 containing lead, they could face a $100,000 fine.
Perhaps the most onerous element of the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act is that it's led to books being banned. In February, Walter Olson of overlawyered.com wrote an exceptional article for City Journal magazine called The New Book Banning. Here are some of the highlights of my interview with Olson in February from Pajamas Media's PJM Political Show on SiriusXM's satellite radio.
Late last year, the American Library Association and the American Bookseller Association, that isn't their name, but whatever the Booksellers Association is, began raising alarms saying, have you noticed that under the terms of this law, we will have to test our products one by one? There are thousands and thousands of different titles of children's books, and according to this, we're going to have to spend possibly hundreds or even thousands of dollars testing each one, and this is going to make it impractical to keep a backlist of children's books. So they got some relief at the last minute from the Consumer Product Safety Commission before this law went into effect earlier in February. And that is, they issued guidelines saying, well, since lead ink has not been used in ink in books for more than 2 decades, you can go on safely selling anything printed after 1985. And however, they said very pointedly, anything before 1985, sell at your own risk, because it was only then that we know lead was taken out of inks and pigments used in books.
A couple of videos ago, I warned, you and I have a rendezvous with scarcity, a destiny that for some is already here, and for the rest of us may be arriving all too soon. And one reason why is that bills such as the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act hurt the economy during a period when it needs all the help it can get, slowing its recovery down that much more, and at the cost of taking literature away from the people who need it the most. In the 1990s, "Do it for the children" was a Clintonian catchphrase. This bill takes something remarkably precious away from them, their culture and their history. Much like the Newspeak Dictionary in Orwell's 1984, banning books published before the real-life date of 1985 also reduces the amount of history and culture available to us all, and our children. 50 years ago, Orwell warned us to expect our history and language to start shrinking.
It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words.
Sugar, 2.4%.
You won't have seen the dictionary, 10th edition yet, Smith?
7.5%.
It's that thick.
Coffee, 8%.
The 11th edition will be that thick.
The book banning that's going on does help to reduce the number of books that are in circulation written before political correctness first began appearing on our radar screens in the mid to late 1980s. But most likely, that's a coincidence. As Walter Olson told me, the cutoff date chosen, book published in 1984 and earlier, is certainly an ominous coincidence. 1985 was the year that lead pigment was banned from ink. Of course, that hasn't stopped bookshopblog.com from printing up signs which have appeared in at least a few vacated bookshelves that read, 1984. Big Brother has determined that all children's books published before 1985 are dangerous contraband. By order of the government, they must be destroyed. It sounds like fiction, but it's not. Despite the lack of any cases of children being injured by books, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Administration has ruled that all children's books published before 1985 are inherently dangerous and may not be sold, distributed, or given away as of February 10, 2009. Please contact your congressmen and senators about CPSIA, HR 4040. While the methods to implement it are more reminiscent of Aldous Huxley's Brave New World than Orwell's 1984, the unintended consequences of the new book banning is a reminder of something that pioneer blogger Stephen Den Best wrote in 2006 about George Orwell's prophetic masterpiece. 1984, a user manual for lefties, a warning for the rest of us. For Silicon Graffiti, I'm Ed Driscoll.